Hello everyone. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to download and install the DATAVIEW 2.2 in your local machine, as well as run a workflow with a local executor. So here is a DATAVIEW GitHub repository you may have already visited before, and this website recites all the source code that we've been working on the DATAVIEW so far. And DATAVIEW is basically a big data workflow management system. It uses a Dropbox as a data cloud as well as Amazon EC2 as a computing cloud. From the DATAVIEW 2.0, we also introduced a local executor. So that means not only you are able to run the DATAVIEW or run the workflow in the cloud, you also have the option to run that in your local machine. So that saves us a lot of time to set up as well as running the workflow for testing purpose. So the version we are going to use today is 2.2, which is the latest release version. On the right panel of the DATAVIEW GitHub repository, you will be find out a section called Releases. And here we have 3 available releases in the GitHub repository. And click on the DATAVIEW release 2.2, which is the latest version. You will be navigating into this page with the major updates for this version. So for the 2.2, the major updates includes the memory transfer. That means we are able to transfer the data through the memory, not only from the file system. So compared with the 2.1, this saves a lot of I/O time during workflow execution. And also another big change is that for the DATAVIEW release 2.2, we are able to use a GRE other than version 8, because in 2.1 and before, we are only able to use a GRE version 8, so that gives us a lot of limitation. So this will enable us to use more latest features of the latest version of GRE. So first of all, let's download the source code. So you can see here we are going to download the source code as a zip file. So since I've already downloaded that, so I don't want to download that again. So feel free to download, and then you will be able to see that in your download folder and extract that into any place you want. For the testing purpose, I will only extract that in the download folder, so you are able to see that DATAVIEW-2.2, and here is the DATAVIEW folder we are going to import into the Eclipse. And one thing to keep in mind is that Eclipse IDE, the version we are going to use is Java EE developers, and the latest version is 2020-12, and the version I'm using is I believe is 2019-12, which is also working. So I will keep use this one, but feel free if you want the latest version and go to the official website to download that. So the first thing is we're going to import this project. So here under the general section, we're going to choose a project from folder or archive, and we click next. We will navigate into this window, and we're going to choose a directory of the import source, which resides in the download folder and DATAVIEW-2.2, and again we're going to find out the DATAVIEW folder. So we select the folder and keep all the default options, and then we click finish. So here you can see the DATAVIEW is available on the Package Explorer, and before we are going to run, we have few things to set up. So first thing is we are going to check out the properties under this project. So this takes some time, sorry about that, but the first item we're going to check is the Java build path. So you're able to see that the Java build path will have many missing jar files because the repository is quite different from what you have right now. So what we will do is we delete all of them except the last 3, and we will choose a remove, and also we are going to add them back into this library path. So don't worry about, because we save all the libraries into a certain file in the Z folder. So you can find that under the DATAVIEW web content and web inf and leave folder. So this is a place you will be able to find out all the library or jar files you need in this project. So add them all into this libraries tab. So you will see that all the jar files imported with the correct path. And the next thing is what I'm going to do is I will change my JRE version. And previously we set into the Java 8, and right now I'm going to use my latest version 11.0.1. Maybe you have a latest version newer than me, so I think that's also fine. Click finish, apply and close, and then you will be able to run the DATAView successfully. So if you navigate into the default package, you will notice is a file called test.java, and this is the main entry of this project. So what inside this file is basically few steps we have to define. First of all, which workflow we are going to use. Here is a workflow we are going to use, which called RA workflow, which is a relational algebra workflow. So if you want to take a look at the code carefully, you will be able to find out that under the default package there is a RA workflow file.java. So here it is. If you open, you will see the code of this workflow. This extends a workflow class, and basically first of all we have to specify how many input ports, how many output ports we have, and we will specify the file we're going to read from the input port, and also the output port we're going to specify the output file we're going to write data. So other than that, we have to specify what kind of workflow executor we're going to use. Workflow planner we're going to use. Here we're using naive one. Feel free to take a look at the code if you're interested in. And also we have to specify the path we're going to use for this running. So here we're going to use a workflow libdir. So if you notice, it's under the web content, and it's not libdir. The working directory is a workflow task dir. So all the files, working files, will be contained into this folder. So you will see that just now we have visited two input file, the professor txt, as here professor txt and professor copy txt. All of them are residing into this test dir. So in the test.java we also have to specify what kind of executor we're going to use. So here we're using local, that means it will run in your local machine. So, and then we specify the working directory as a test.dir, and also the jar file library repository as a libdir. So this is the thing we have to keep in mind before we run the workflow. So I think that's pretty good. And then we can run the workflow successfully. If we click the run button, and we will pop up some warning, but feel free to proceed. I think that doesn't matter. So we're able to run this workflow. First of all, you will see a window pop up, which is draw in the workflow we're going to run. You can see we have two input ports or two input files into a set difference task. And basically this relational algebra workflow is going to take two tables and set difference and give out the result. So as you can see, the result is called RA result.txt, and if you go to the workflow task dir, you will be able to refresh this repository, and you are going to see an output file as here, the result RA result.txt and set difference. So here is a result of this workflow. And also in the console you will be see the running time or the execution time of this workflow. So that's it. I think that's pretty much we are able to successfully run a workflow with a local executor. And feel free to play around with other workflows, existing workflows, and also you're able to write your own tasks and workflows and pack them into this test.java and run them as well. So I think that's pretty much of this video, and hope you enjoy this video. And until next time, happy coding and play around with the DATAVIEW system. Thank you for your time.